It was a rare, quiet evening in the Musk household. Elon Musk, the visionary billionaire behind Tesla and SpaceX, was sitting in his dimly lit study, sipping on a cup of black coffee, his mind lost in the intricate calculations of an upcoming Mars colonization project. The world outside his home was buzzing with news about artificial intelligence, electric cars, and interplanetary travel. Yet, inside these walls, a conversation was about to unfold that would shake the foundations of how people viewed wealth and responsibility. His 12-year-old son, Adrian Musk, entered the room, rubbing his eyes sleepily. Unlike most kids his age, Adrian had a deep curiosity about the world. He often asked his father big questions, ones even the greatest minds of Silicon Valley struggled to answer. But tonight, he would ask a question that would stun even Elon Musk himself. "Dad," Adrian said, settling into a chair across from his father, "why can't we just buy homes for the homeless?" Elon paused. It wasn't that he hadn't thought about homelessness before. He had donated to charities and even explored building low-cost housing. But the sheer directness of Adrian's question made him realize he had never really answered it for himself. His son's blue eyes were locked onto him, waiting for an answer. "Well," Elon began, "it's complicated. It's not just about buying homes. It's about maintenance, infrastructure, and making sure people can sustain themselves." "But you're the richest man in the world," Adrian pressed. "If you can send rockets to space, can't you figure out a way to put a roof over someone's head?" Elon exhaled, leaning back. The boy wasn't wrong. With his resources, he could theoretically fund housing for millions. But would it truly solve the problem? Would it fix the root cause of homelessness? He knew the issue wasn't just about shelter but about jobs, addiction, mental health, and a flawed system. Still, the question gnawed at him. Was he, a man constantly solving impossible problems, avoiding one that was right in front of him? "Tell you what, kid," Elon said finally, a rare smirk creeping across his face. "Let's find out." And with that, the world's wealthiest innovator had just embarked on an experiment that would shake the very foundations of modern society. Elon Musk wasn't the kind of man to back down from a challenge. His entire career had been built on tackling problems that others deemed impossible. Whether it was revolutionizing space travel, reinventing the automotive industry, or developing brain-machine interfaces. But homelessness, that was an issue governments, NGOs, and social workers had struggled with for decades. Yet, here he was, sitting across from his son, realizing that maybe the answer wasn't as complicated as the world made it seem. By the next morning, Elon had instructed his team at the Musk Foundation to pull up statistics. He wanted real numbers, how many homeless people were in the United States, how much it would cost to house them, and why previous attempts had failed. The numbers were staggering. Over 600,000 people were experiencing homelessness in America. Providing each of them with a small, livable home would cost billions. But Elon wasn't deterred. He had spent $44 billion on Twitter, after all. That evening, he gathered his closest advisors at Tesla's headquarters. "I want a plan," he said simply. "A scalable, cost-effective solution that gives homeless people real homes, not just shelters. Something that can be built fast, sustained long-term, and replicated globally." His team looked at him, surprised. They were used to being pushed to the limits of innovation, but this was different. Still, they had learned one thing from working with Musk. When he set his mind on something, the world changed. Over the next few weeks, Elon and his engineers began prototyping sustainable microhomes, self-sufficient, solar-powered, and fully equipped with smart technology. The concept was revolutionary. Each home would cost under $10,000 to build using prefabricated modular designs, with AI-powered systems to help occupants reintegrate into society. Some would feature job-matching programs, while others included mental health services and digital education tools. But there was one more challenge: land. Housing alone wasn't enough. People needed communities, opportunities, and dignity. So Elon came up with an idea no one saw coming. "What if," he said in a meeting, "we buy an entire town?" The room fell silent. A tech billionaire buying a town to end homelessness? The media would explode. But Elon didn't care. He knew that if he truly wanted to fix this issue, He couldn't just hand out homes. He had to build an ecosystem. And so, in a move that would soon dominate headlines, Elon Musk began negotiations to purchase an abandoned town in Texas. The world had no idea what was coming next. The news spread like wildfire. Elon Musk buys a town to end homelessness. Journalists scrambled for details. Social media exploded with debates. Was this another one of Musk's wild ideas? Or could he actually succeed where governments had failed? But behind the headlines, Elon was already deep in execution mode. He had purchased a near-abandoned town in Texas, a small place called Valhalla Springs, which once had a thriving population but had dwindled to just a few dozen residents after local industries collapsed. His plan? Turn it into a self-sustaining city for the homeless, powered by technology, designed for rehabilitation, and structured for long-term success. The project was officially named Project Second Chance, and Elon wasted no time in getting to work. Building a community, not just houses. Instead of just handing out homes, Elon's vision was radically different. He wanted to create a place where homeless individuals could regain control of their lives, not just receive charity. Here's how it worked. Housing thousands of solar-powered, prefabricated homes were set up in record time, using Tesla's energy-efficient technology. Jobs: Tesla, SpaceX, and the Boring Company created local job training centers, allowing residents to learn skills in manufacturing, AI, coding, and renewable energy. Mental health and rehabilitation. Neuralink and other organizations partnered to provide mental health care, addiction treatment, and therapy, addressing the root causes of homelessness. Universal basic income. Residents were given a basic monthly income, not as a handout, but as a bridge to financial independence. Education and digital inclusion. Free access to online courses, business workshops, and tech boot camps empowered residents to pursue new careers. To fund the project, Elon didn't just rely on his wealth. He turned it into a global movement. He announced a public crowdfunding campaign, offering everyday people a chance to invest in ending homelessness through blockchain-based ownership stakes in the town. And then, he made an announcement that truly stunned the world. If this works, we'll replicate it worldwide. The goal isn't just one town. It's 1,000 towns, 1 million homes, and an end to homelessness as we know it. The reactions were overwhelming. Some hailed him as a visionary. Some called it a billionaire's PR stunt. Some said he was playing real-life SimCity. But one thing was certain, the world was watching. And for the first group of 5,000 homeless individuals who were about to move into their new homes, this wasn't just an experiment, it was a second chance at life. As the first group of 5,000 formerly homeless individuals arrived in Valhalla Springs, cameras from around the world captured the moment. Some had been living on the streets for years. Others had lost everything due to medical debt, job layoffs, or personal tragedies. But now they were stepping into something unprecedented. A town built not just to shelter them, but to transform their lives. Elon Musk himself was there to greet them, standing on a futuristic stage with a Tesla Cybertruck parked behind him. Dressed casually in a black t-shirt and jeans, he looked out at the crowd and spoke into the microphone. Welcome to the future. This isn't a charity, it's an opportunity. You're not just getting homes. You're getting a fresh start. And together, we're going to prove that homelessness is a solvable problem. The crowd erupted in applause. Some people cried, overwhelmed by the reality of finally having a place to call their own. How the town functioned. Within weeks, Project Second Chance was in full swing. The smart homes, powered by Tesla solar panels and Starlink internet, provided every resident with basic utilities for free. But Musk didn't want the town to become dependent on outside funding, so he had created self-sustaining industries within Valhalla Springs. Tesla and SpaceX training centers, residents could enroll in skilled labor programs, learning how to assemble EV batteries, work with solar technology, or even help manufacture rocket components. Those who completed training were offered real jobs at Musk's companies. Tech incubator for startups. A small portion of the town was dedicated to people who wanted to start businesses. Some were trained in coding, AI development, and digital marketing, preparing them for high-paying remote jobs. Sustainable farming and vertical agriculture. Tesla engineers had set up automated vertical farms, providing fresh food while training residents in agriculture technology. Mental health and wellness clinics partnering with medical professionals, free therapy, addiction recovery programs, and job counseling were provided, addressing the root causes of chronic homelessness. The results and the skepticism. Within 6 months, unbelievable statistics started emerging. 78% of residents had jobs or were in training programs. Crime rates in the town were virtually zero. Mental health issues dropped significantly due to the available counseling and support systems. Several residents had already launched their own small businesses inside Valhalla Springs. But not everyone was convinced. Critics in the media called it an unsustainable utopia. Some said Musk was just experimenting on the poor, while others doubted that the model could be scaled nationwide. Elon didn't respond to the criticism directly. Instead, he did something even bolder. He invited the world's top billionaires, policymakers, and tech leaders to visit Valhalla Springs and see for themselves. And among those who showed up was Jeff Bezos, Musk's longtime business rival. A rival's challenge. Bezos arrived in his private jet, stepping onto the soil of the now-famous town. Cameras flashed as he walked through the streets, visibly impressed. Musk greeted him with a smirk. "What do you think, Jeff? You ready to stop building space dildos and start solving real problems?" The crowd laughed, but Bezos simply nodded. He looked around at the thriving community and then turned to Musk with a surprising proposal. "Let's make this bigger." In that moment, two of the world's richest men, once rivals, were now standing together at the center of a project that could change the course of history. The world held its breath. What would happen next? The meeting between Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos sent shockwaves across the globe. Two of the most powerful figures in modern history, once locked in an intense rivalry over space, were now standing together in a town designed to solve one of humanity's oldest problems, homelessness. The press speculated wildly. Was Bezos genuinely interested in helping? Or was this just another PR stunt to compete with Musk? Elon, never one to waste time, cut straight to the point. "All right, Jeff, you've seen the results. You in or not?" Bezos crossed his arms, surveying the streets of Valhalla Springs. He had seen Amazon's own struggles with warehouse workers and public perception. Perhaps this was a way to rewrite his own legacy. "I'm in," Bezos said. "But we go big. Not one town. Not 10. We scale this nationwide. Project Second Chance goes global." What happened next was nothing short of historic. Within weeks, Musk and Bezos had pooled resources, along with several other billionaires who saw an opportunity to be part of something groundbreaking. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and even Warren Buffett joined in, offering funding, logistics, and innovative ideas to expand the project beyond Texas. The new initiative was called Second Chance Cities, and it had a 3-phase expansion plan. Phase 1, 10 new towns modeled after Valhalla Springs. These would be built across different states, each tailored to local needs, urban, rural, and tech-driven solutions. Phase 2, government partnerships. After proving the model, Second Chance Cities would integrate with state and federal programs, creating sustainable public-private partnerships. Phase 3, global expansion. If successful, the project would spread to Europe, Africa, and Asia, tackling homelessness on a worldwide scale. The first major announcement came from California, where Musk and Bezos secured hundreds of acres of land near Los Angeles to build a high-tech homeless rehabilitation city, one that could house over 50,000 people. The results in Valhalla Springs had already shown the world what was possible. White heavy checkmark people didn't just need homes. They needed opportunities. White heavy checkmark smart technology could make communities self-sustaining. White heavy checkmark mental health and job training were just as crucial as shelter. The final twist, the U.S. government steps in. As the expansion gained momentum, the U.S. government took notice. In a shocking turn of events, the White House invited Musk and Bezos to discuss integrating the Second Chance model into national homelessness policy. "We've spent billions trying to fix this issue," the president said in a live address. "Maybe it's time to let the innovators take the lead." The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, announced a historic $10 billion investment to expand the project nationwide. The idea of technology-driven, self-sustaining towns for the homeless was no longer just an experiment. It was becoming official policy. The impact: a new era begins. Within 2 years, over 500,000 formerly homeless individuals had been housed through second chance cities. Many had transitioned into stable jobs, started businesses, and even moved out of the communities into their own independent homes. Elon Musk stood before a massive crowd in Valhalla Springs on the 2-year anniversary of the town's opening. His son, Adrian, now a teenager, stood beside him, looking out at the thousands of lives. His simple question had changed. 2 years ago, my son asked me why we couldn't just buy homes for the homeless. Today, we've done more than that. We've built a system that ensures no one is left behind. The world had witnessed something unbelievable, a tech-driven revolution in humanitarian aid. And it all started with a 12-year-old boy asking a question. As the crowd erupted in applause, Adrian turned to his father and smiled. "So, what's next, Dad?" Elon grinned.